Just like Slim Shady, I'm back, y'all. Well, kinda. Let's talk about it. So, to tell you the truth, I really did not want to have to make this video. Mostly because I don't like making these types of videos, and I did everything in my power to avoid making this video. But the truth of the matter is, this channel, it's been vacant, empty, inactive, whatever word you want to use. And the simple explanation for it is because I just don't have the time like I used to. A lot of it is due to the fact that my day job is extremely just contentious right now. There's a lot of stuff going on at the store I work at with things shifting at the top, different managers coming in and out, and coworkers leaving and such. So meaning that me and my department head have to take on a lot of extra hours and shifts more than we were used to doing even just a few months ago. And as a result, a lot of my energy and, just brain space has been dedicated to figuring that whole situation out and not so much figuring out YouTube, which has been put on the back burner. Not obviously the most ideal situation because YouTube has always been my number one favorite thing to do, and making videos is my number one favorite passion as far as a hobby or anything outside of work goes. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and sometimes you just gotta put that stuff aside and just focus on what's right, standing by people, trying to do your best, making sure that all the people who have your back are going to be reliable and that they're not gonna find themselves in a hole either, and standing by people when it's right. Which is mainly the reason why I don't just quit tomorrow, because there's people there that I care about. My department head has been with me since day one, and he's one of my best friends there. Someone who's very easy to talk to and just open up to about things, and has a big passion for music like me, so we talk about that all the time. And it makes the entire situation a little bit more palatable, considering that the chaos that has ensued because of it has really just drained both of us, both physically and mentally. But having someone like him there to sort of bounce, the ideas off of, or even just, bitch to when you need to, that's always a good thing to have. So that's basically the short of it. If you just wanted to click on this video and get your explanation as to where I've been, it's because work has just been absolutely insane right now. And for the most part, I think that is going to at least be for the next couple of months, and there isn't going to be like a truly permanent change or a truly permanent solution to it, at least for a little while. At least according to everyone I've talked to, this is going to be an ongoing thing. So as far as what that means for the future of this channel and how it's going to develop over the next few months, I'm kind of stumped. There's certainly not a lack of ideas on my end. I come up with new video ideas pretty much every single day. Again, one of my biggest passions, so obviously always having that creative mindset and wanting to do stuff for my audience, that's what drives me. But the issue obviously is having the time to execute them the way that I see it, or the way that I think is, up to a certain standard. And obviously big projects like the top 10 best and worst songs videos that I made recently that are my most recent uploads, those took months and months to make. Those are big, multifaceted, multiple hour-long videos there, and that's the style that I would love to continue, but it's obviously not feasible given my current work situation. So I think as a bit of a compromise here, as far as being able to just produce content for you guys and give you some sort of, entertainment so that you can also escape your own work problems or whatever you have going on in your life, I think I'm going to go back to an older style, a lot more compilations and tier lists and things of that nature. Videos that are a little easier to produce on my end, but also stuff that you guys seem to really enjoy. And those big passion projects that I want to make down the road can sit in the wings when I have the time or when I have some more stability to actually execute those the way that I want to. And I think also for the summer, another thing that's been on my mind is doing more collabs with Mike and Matt. They themselves are also kind of busy right now with their own, life dilemmas, as it were. Matt just finished his schooling, so he's going to be working full time now for the summer. He's going back to do a 40-hour work week as well. And then with Mike, he just moved and he started a new job as well. So he's been kind of just trying to find some stability there, trying to transition into this new routine that he has. We've talked about, potentially getting together and stuff, but obviously it's just hard when life gets in the way, finding a day that we're all available to, film and shoot a video together. But that is something that I think is a necessary step to sort of getting back on track due to the fact that it helps burden the workload across a few different people instead of having it all on one person. I do not have any sort of help most of the time with my videos. I write, I edit, I produce, I shoot, I film everything myself. This is all me, it's my name, branded on this channel. So when it's, tough for me to feel motivated to do something, it's obviously going to weigh on the success of these videos. So having someone there to help out with the filming or the pre-production or whatever it might be is very nice to, offset some of that work. And it's just fun because, having someone else there to bounce ideas off of or talk about music or TV or whatever it is, that's always just a fun thing to do in general. So ideally, before the end of the summer, we will get together and do at least one collab for this channel. But none of this is to say that I'm coming back in full swings or it's going to be very consistent or whatever it is, because, again, all of that is still up in the air at this point. Which you can kind of tell by my tone that I'm, frustrated with it, because obviously I would love to be able to come back and just consistently, week after week after week, put stuff out for you. But I think I am going to try to at least get something out at least a few times a month, because even outside of the workload or whatever else, other big problems that are going on in the world right now, the idea for this channel has always been a place to escape, a place to find a community of like-minded people, somewhere that you can just come to when you need a pick-me-up. And given the amount of stuff that's currently happening right now, and the amount of other TikTokers or YouTubers or content creators as a whole who have paused their own channels and pages and such to address some of those issues, the entire thing is feeling like there's a lot of, cynicism, like there's a lot of hopelessness out there, taking hiatuses because they also feel very demotivated by certain situations. Even within their own industries, in a lot of ways, the music industry being somewhat up in the air itself, or the movie industry especially, not being quite where it needs to be, for people to feel like, oh, there's some real, tangible success here. The entire thing has just been very, questionable in terms of the sustainability of it all. And so all of this is sort of, weighing down on the question of like where to go next. Like, how do you pull yourself out of a situation like that? And there's a small part of me that really wants to come back more out of spite than anything else, just to say, I can do it. I can put out a video a week that people will really resonate with, people will love, but also work 50 hours and do it and, do both of those things simultaneously, because I am just that good at this stuff. But the truth is, the main reason why I feel like I need to come back, why I want to come back, is because if I don't, it feels like I'm giving up on you guys. And you guys are lacking a space where you can avoid all of your big, work problems or whatever it might be, having that safe space to just find a community of like-minded people to talk about TV and music with, and being able to just, escape from it all. It's the same reason why I don't leave my job, is because I don't want to give up on the people that have been there with me since day one, who I feel a really strong bond with, And I know that most of you guys are very patient, and I'm not the biggest YouTuber anyway, so it's usually not that big of a deal when people like me leave. And when I say people like me, I mean people my size, because usually there's not that many eyes on us anyway. But even still, if there was one person that was really, really passionate about my channel, or that looked up to me in some way, and I felt like I was letting them down in some way, I don't want to do that. It's the same way that if, I looked up to somebody, or I was a big fan of someone and they also just abruptly left, then, I would feel like they were kind of, treating me wrong, and I wouldn't want to know why that was. Goes back to the idea of just treating people the way you'd want to be treated, So going forward, here is my basic outline of a schedule of sorts and sort of the release window for future videos to come. Every Friday, 11:30, like I usually do, I want to be posting routine content once again. Compilations, reviews, tier lists, that sort of, old school style, pretty basic production for the most part. That's easy for me to make, but also something that you guys seem to really love. I know you guys love the compilations, so gonna get back into the swing of doing those. And those big passion projects, those big top 10 lists, those big, multifaceted, multiple hour-long videos, those will be put on the back burner till I can find more stability at work, where I can actually flesh those out and make those the way that I want to make them. I want to try to put something out every week. I'm not going to promise I'm going to put something out every week, but I want to aim for every Friday. If I end up skipping a week or two here or there, then now you guys will know why. It's usually because I'll be working extra. Thursdays are usually my days off. If I get one day off per week, it's usually Thursday, which is perfect because I can film it or I can edit it or whatever, and then it'll be up by Friday. So that'll usually be the best case scenario for the most part. Otherwise, it's basically just going to be a combination of the waiting game and then seeing how YouTube itself evolves, because there have been times within the last 3 months or so that I have, wanted to make stuff and have been preparing stuff or making videos just to see certain things, how YouTube is working on the back end. And it's getting more and more difficult to actually just make things the way that I want to because of how strict YouTube's policies have been surrounding copyright. I've been on YouTube now for a long time. I've seen it get, better in some ways and worse in some ways. And this is like probably the most restrictive it's been. I don't want to say it's the worst it's ever been, but it's probably the most restrictive in terms of the amount of bands or the amount of artists that I can use and which ones I can and which ones I can't. That's always been, a battle with YouTube, of course. There's been times in the last few months where like certain videos that are older that, from like 2020 or something, have, been altered in some way. I've had to block things out. I've had to mute things. It was never a problem before, and then for some reason 4 years later, they just detect something. So it's all just like, trying to work around where I can. But like I said, for the most part, it's, just trying to find some stability there. And that's really the main idea. I've been going back through some of my older videos for like a separate project. I behind the scenes, I've been doing a lot of like organizational stuff with my computer and some of my like files and stuff, because before my computer was just absolutely trash. Like my files were everywhere, music was everywhere, nothing was organized as far as like a centralized location. So what I've been doing is collecting all of my older videos and archiving them to a separate hard drive and figuring out, all the separate files and everything for each of the individual projects, just kind of grouping them together and, making the space more streamlined and stuff. So as a result of this, I've been watching a bunch of my older videos and I've realized, man, some of those videos were awful. And so now, since I've had this time to sort of reflect and, kind of grow as a creator over these years, I want to make sure that now in 2024, what I'm delivering is of high quality. It's going to be, stuff that I would want to watch myself, stuff that I feel like is really, up to a certain level of production that I feel like is worthy of your guys' time. And sometimes that does mean, the older compilations or the older tier lists or the stuff that you guys really love that, made me famous to some degree. Not really famous, but, gave me a platform to begin with that I want to come back to and kind of, explore in a way, but do it in a way that's more reminiscent of how I feel about the content now. Does this count as a tangent? Am I going off on a tangent a little bit? Kind of feels like one, but I hope you guys are getting, kind of the sense of where I'm going with this. And again, I understand that I'm not the biggest YouTuber of all time. I get that most people probably are not going to watch this video, and that's totally fine. If you just want to be, here for the music and stuff, I get it. It is coming. I promise you it's coming. But I just want to make sure that for the people who are wondering about that, then this video hopefully is a bit of a satisfying explanation as to where I've been. And like I said, working behind the scenes, trying to streamline and organize some of the stuff regarding my archive and my files and everything. That's going to make the process a lot easier going forward to have something more routine, something more organized, something more streamlined, to be able to crank out videos at a fairly, regular pace. And I've also been prepping out a brand new series of videos that I'm hoping to debut as early as next week if everything goes according to plan, which should be really exciting. It's a big series that's going to be, over the next couple months that I'm really excited to show you guys, something that's been in the works for a while now, so stay tuned for that. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything else that you're wondering about either the channel or any future video ideas, leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. Once again, thank you so much for your understanding and your patience. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you guys really, really soon, and I want to wish you a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.